Chapter 1 Diary of a Sixth Grade Ninja 2. My name is Chase Cooper, and since this is my second diary, my dad still insists I call it a chronicle, I'll fill you in on what's happened in the last month. But first, a little bit about myself. Here's my self portrait. Ladies, please remain calm. Me. Handsome, right? I'm still 11 years old and still a scrawny dude. As much as I want to say being a ninja bulked me up a bunch, it hasn't. But that's a good thing, since a beefy ninja would be weird looking. Buchanan School has been good to me. I was the new kid at the start of the year, but nobody really gave me gruff about it. Cool kids and sports stars fill the hallways between classes, and I do my best to stay off everyone's radar. I'm what some people might call a comic book nerd, and I prefer the term aficionado, which means I'm more of an expert in comics and less of a nerd. It's a term I learned from my cousin Zoe. She's the coolest cousin in the world, but don't tell her I said that. I've become better friends with Braden, the werewolf hunter, but I wouldn't say we're best friends. We've hung out a couple of times outside of school to watch bad horror movies and make fun of them. Trust me when I say it's a lot more fun than it sounds. Zoe came over once and even she laughed a couple of times. About a month has passed since I finished my first diary chronicle. If you remember, Wyatt was busted for the theft of all the money raised for the food drive. Since he confessed, there wasn't any reason for the teachers to do any more investigating. So the secret ninja clan is safe and still secret. You'll also be happy to hear that Wyatt was expelled from Buchanan. I do not know exactly what school he's at right now, and frankly, I don't give a spoo about it. Oh, and all that has led me up to this point. But you've probably figured it out by now. I'm still a ninja, but I'm also the new leader of the ninja clan. Me again, double handsome. I fought it at first for a couple of reasons. One, it was because of the ninja clan that I got my butt handed to me during the first week of school. And two, I was only a ninja for less than a week, so how was I supposed to lead an entire clan without any ninjutsu experience? In the end, Zoe convinced me that I shouldn't let the opportunity go, and I finally agreed with her. Braden had begged me to let him into the clan, but since I was the new leader, I didn't want it to seem like I was in it just so my friends could join. I told him no, and that he'd have to wait a few months. He wasn't too happy with the decision. I also agreed to become the leader because the day Wyatt was busted, one of the ninjas approached me and said Buchanan School was in danger of a pirate invasion. I know, right? Pirates invading a school. I thought it was just a joke. As it turns out, it wasn't. The whole thing can be traced back to early Monday morning in homeroom. How can I remember exactly when it started? Because it was the most annoying thing in the world. It was talk like a pirate morning. "Arr, mateys," Braden said as he entered the room. I remember sighing the moment I heard him. "Please," I said as I shut my eyes. "Not you two." "Lighten up," Zoe said, turning around in her seat to face me. "Just because you hate pirates doesn't mean you have to ruin it for the rest of us. Besides, it's just for the morning. I'll stop after homeroom." "It's not that I hate pirates," I said. "It's that I hate people talking like them. But you know what? It's not even that, really. It's more that people are acting in the middle of school and not even good acting. They're all just going around yelling, 'Arr, matey.'" "Acting," Braden said. "You mean like in drama club or something?" "Yeah," I said. "It's super annoying." Zoe curled her lip. "How about you keep it to yourself then?" She lowered her voice and whispered, "It's not like anyone is making fun of you for dressing in black pajamas during gym class and running around as a ninja." I shook my head. "Not the same thing." "I'm sure it's not," Zoe said, nodding her head and giving me a thumbs up. It was obvious she was mocking me, but she meant it playfully. "Mr. Ninja Leader." I folded my arms. I hated when she called me that, and she knew it. Being the leader of a ninja clan wasn't easy, and for the past month, I wasn't sure if I was doing a good job of it. Whenever she called me that, I knew the name was a joke, but part of me couldn't help feel like I was actually the joke. Anyways, everywhere I turned, kids were talking like pirates. It was awful, but I couldn't get away from it, so maybe Zoe was right, and I should lighten up. Sorry, I said to Braden. Cool, he replied. For a second, I thought you were going to use your awesome nunchuck skills to helicopter out of here. Isn't that what you do? Don't ninjas do that? No, I started to say, but Zoe interrupted me. I heard that ninjas can throw an uppercut so fast that it actually travels backwards in time and punches the baby version of the victim. Har har, I said, fake laughing. Very funny. Braden continued. I heard that some ninjas just paint themselves black and run around naked because wearing clothes isn't hardcore enough. Any truth to that? I sighed and sunk down in my seat. Braden laughed. Shiver me timbers, it's only a joke, mate. My teeth were grinding in my mouth, but I forced a smile. Homeroom was only 15 minutes long, and all I had to do was wait it out. The clock on the wall ticked to 7:45 a.m., and the bell rang out, signaling the start of the school day. The homeroom teacher, Mrs. Robinson, leaned back in her chair and started making the announcements for the day. "Our mateys," said Mrs. Robinson, as she cracked a smile and squeezed one eye shut. "You scurvy sailors can call me One-Eyed Robinson." The entire room was full of students responded, shouting. "Arr!" It would have made me angry if it weren't actually funny. I LOL'd, but so did the rest of the students. "Here be the announcements, y'all scallywags," Mrs. Robinson continued. She was younger than most teachers, and by far the prettiest one at the school. And by pretty, I mean she wasn't so old that her face looked like it was trying to run away from her skull. Firstly, I must thank the lot of you for joining me this wonderful celebration and talking like a pirate. Several students grumbled in response. I think they were saying "you're welcome" in their own piratey way. I don't think grammar was too important to them. "Secondably," Mrs. Robinson said, confirming the bit about grammar I just mentioned, "at the end of the week there be the event, Dance Till You Drop, in which all ye students be required to participate in." It seems Buchanan School hosts an event every month. Last month it was the food drive. This month it's an event to raise awareness of cardiovascular diseases and also to help students live healthier lives. It's called Dance Till You Drop. And the point is to get adults to pledge a certain amount of money for the amount of time you promise to dance for. The whole thing was going to be 2 hours long, so the idea was to dance the entire 2 hours anyhow, or at least until you dropped. The school will host an assembly at the end of the day on Friday, said Mrs. Robinson. Then the official event be held at 5 o'clock sharp. The nighttime event be mandatory, lest you have an excuse from your parents. I expect to see you there. Are you going? I asked Zoe. She turned in her desk. Aye, matey, aren't you? I sighed. If there were any way I could get out of it, I would. It'll be fun, said Zoe. Mrs. Robinson continued talking. Remember, there be a prize awarded to the student who brings in the most money, a trip for your family to Hawaii, and the opportunity to change the Buchanan School mascot. That's right, a trip to Hawaii and permission to switch the school mascot from a wildcat to whatever the winner wanted. Buchanan's had the same mascot for 1 billion years, and the school was planning on changing it anyway. So I guess they figured making it a prize would get kids to try harder and raising money. And they were right. Mrs. Robinson droned on with a bunch of other announcements nobody really cared about. Pizza for lunch, something about giraffe in a boys' bathroom, and stuff about issuing library cards. Zoe shook her head. She turned around and started whispering. Seems like a mistake to put the fate of our mascot in the hands of a 6th grader. I don't know, Braden said. I think it's really cool of them. If I win it, I'm going to make it an alien. Could you imagine that, Buchanan aliens? Yep, mistake, Zoe said. Matey. I rolled my eyes. Zoe must have noticed because she chuckled at me. Don't look so stressed. This whole thing might be annoying, but it's all in good fun. Sure, I said. My own cousin has betrayed me, speaking like a pirate when she knows I hate it. Jabbing me in the shoulder, she spoke again, softer this time. You know I've got your back no matter what, even if it means going deep undercover someday. I'll always side with you. I nodded, glancing at the clock, hoping it was time to dismiss so he could be done with the pirate shenanigans. Thank the stars, because it was time to dismiss. Mrs. Robinson shuffled a few sheets of paper, making sure she had all the announcements announced. Finally, she smiled and looked up from her notes. Avast! It be time to part your ways! Everyone let out one last "Arr!" and then started filtering through the door and into the hallway. My next period was art class, which I shared with Zoe and Braden. Buchanan allowed the sixth graders to set their school schedules to be similar to middle school. They say it allows a transition into seventh grade to be smoother and less traumatic. But I have my doubts about that.